Your first ever fitness journey is never going to be perfect. Hi guys, dinokang again. Okay, today's episode will be some fitness tips for beginners to get started on your fitness journey, because I know that many of you guys watching here have already been wanting to start your fitness journey in forever but never did. So today I will share with you some of my fitness tips, my top 5 fitness tips for beginners to help you guys out. So for people who have wanted to start their fitness journey for whatever reason but have been putting off because of other reasons in life, work stress, blah blah blah. Okay, basically procrastinating and waiting for the perfect time. We want to set this one date for us to, okay, this is the day I'm going to make a change to my life. Fun fact, there is no perfect time. There never will be a perfect time. Okay, this is it. Okay, life is short, better start now. Okay, so number 1 will be this. You need to make a goal. So start by making a SMART goal. So a SMART goal, S-M-A-R-T, basically it stands for specific goal. So S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for attainable, R is for realistic, and T is for time frame. So basically your goal should be SMART in the sense that it should have these 5 elements inside. That's one way of quantifying a goal. So for example, okay, I want to lose X amount of weight within a certain amount of time. It has to be measurable. It has to be somewhat specific as to what you want, what weight you want to end up, and it also has to be attainable. Means that number is not a crazy number. Realistic is also looking at, okay, let's say your lifestyle, what can be done, what actually cannot be done, rather than thinking that, okay, I'm going to wake up every single morning at 6 a.m. and then run 10 km before I go to work. Is that realistic? Maybe for some of you, but not very realistic for most people. Okay, and having a time frame there just gives you some sense of urgency as to whether you're on track or not. Because so having a SMART goal is like just the first step, but without a goal, you'll be walking blindly, because the goal is where the direction is. You have to at least know where you're headed, where you intend to head. Okay, so having a goal is just the first step. You won't always hit your goals, especially if you are a beginner, because there are so many things that you don't know, and you probably will fail a few times before getting it right. But hey, actually that's life, right? Nobody starts out as an expert. So to improve your chances of success, keep watching for the next tip. So number 2, okay, this sounds a bit like common sense lah, but step 2 is actually for you to have a plan for that specific goal. Okay, not just a very generic plan like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week from Monday onwards. Something more specific. Okay, you're going to the gym. What are you going to do there? How long are you going to be doing there? Like, what exercises do you intend to do? Why those exercises? What are you trying to strengthen? What are you trying to aim for? Back to your goal. So for example, if you are the more specific your goal is, the more likely you're going to attain that goal, right? If you don't even know where you're shooting, then it's going to be quite difficult to take aim and plan to plan how you shoot. Okay, so for example, your goal can be as simple as, okay, I want to do 1 pull-up, my first pull-up in my life. Then you need to plan around how are you going to get to this eventual goal of a pull-up, rather than, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym 3 times a week and do a little bit of pressing, do some squats, and then you hope to do your pull-up like 3 months later, thinking that, hey, I went to the gym, how come now I still cannot go pull up? It's not linked to your goal. So your plan, your step 2 has to be a plan specific for that goal, so that it makes sense, so that you eventually go closer to your goal. So like, let's say for a pull-up, you need to plan for it in a sense. What are the variables that are required for your first pull-up? Okay, what are things that matter? And let's say, for example, your exercise selection, your training frequency, how often a week, your nutrition and recovery, how are you eating, how are you sleeping, your body weight, how heavy are you? If you're 100 kg and you're female, it's very unlikely for you to get a pull-up within the next 3 months. That's pretty much what I mean by realistic and attainable. Okay, your body weight, how you're gripping, etc. So all of that does matter. Or your goal can be as generic as rather not really generic. Your weight can be specific, in a sense you want to lose 5 kg in 3 months or 6 kg in 3 months. Then you can slowly use the time frame 3 months. That means 1 month 2 kg, 1 week half a kg, something like that. Okay, then you have to do the math to see, okay, how much of a deficit you need to be on and for how long. Okay, that's like roughly how you can plan for your goal. If you don't have a plan, then you plan to fail. You fail to plan to fail. Okay, you know what I'm saying, right? Okay, so step number 3. Don't think so much. Just start doing. Okay, so sometimes we just overthink and overplan everything to the last detail, to the point where we actually forget the most important part, which is the execution part. So you can plan all you want, and like all things in life, many things don't go according to plan. Then why bother planning? We still need to plan because we need to have a direction. Okay, it may not work out in the end, but you still need to plan. At least you know where you're shooting. Okay, at least the direction is correct so that you can end up somewhere near your goal. Okay, so sometimes the biggest piece of the puzzle missing here is that, it's simply the effort needed to be put in to see the results. So the direction is important, but the actual legwork to walk to your destination is equally important. You can plan all you want, you'll be a keyboard warrior and plan everything on paper, but then there's no walking done, you're never going to get there. Okay, that's one example. Yeah, don't think so much, just get started. Okay. Point number 4. Okay, here's the point where I tell you guys to consider getting a coach if you can afford it. Okay, or some kind of guidance, free or otherwise, or just watch my videos. Okay, so basically, obviously, someone credible, someone that you believe can help you achieve that specific goal. Okay, so for example, let's say, okay, I'm a credible source for personal training, building muscle, and so on. I am not really a credible source to teach people how to run marathons. So if your goal is to finish a marathon, don't find me. If you're looking to build muscles, then find me. You get what I mean? Right? Just the same concept applies to, okay, if you want to learn about movement and fixing your body, maybe you don't need a trainer, but you do need someone to teach you physiotherapy, or let's say powerlifting or certain sport. You need someone to teach you that sport. I can't teach you a certain sport. I can teach you, bodybuilding, hypertrophy, building muscles, and losing fat, but different. Right? So you need someone who can fit your goals, not just anybody. Okay? Yeah. So I'm not talking about certifications or physical appearance. I'm talking more about the intangibles, the things that are harder to see. The track record of someone, how that person's training style is, training approach, and the soft skills as well as the hardware. Okay, so that will be more important in terms of helping you specifically. Okay, so if your coach is someone who looks like he just got out of bed like 5 minutes prior and just finished his morning coffee at the hawker center and then shows up for your training session in flip-flops, and he has a beer belly for like 20 years already because he hasn't been training since he tells you that he has been Mr. Singapore like 20 years ago. Probably not the best fit, right? It's not a very good example. You may disagree with me on that, but anyway, the point is this. Okay, I digress. Getting guidance from a third party can be very beneficial in many aspects because it's a someone else watching you. So someone else watching you has the benefit. Like sometimes I wouldn't say we are in denial, but sometimes we miss the things that we are looking at ourselves, right? From a third party point of view, they may be able to see things that we cannot see ourselves. Okay, like our behavior when we start to do weird things along a certain part of the diet or something. Someone can come in and let you know things that you may have missed. Okay, so it's the same example why many coaches have coaches. Okay, anyway, so it's not so much okay. So getting guidance from a third party, right? It's not just about okay, I'm gonna check your form in doing certain exercises and prescribing you certain exercises. No, it goes beyond that. For example, if you're getting a coach for personal training, for example, okay, it's also more about the communication and the accountability, more than just okay, you are gonna do 3 sets of this exercise 3 times a week. Okay, then you show up for session, I'm gonna check your form. It goes a bit beyond that if you are looking for a good coach, because there's a different level of service involved. Okay, so basically someone else providing that support and putting just the right amount of pressure on you for you to get your results, that would be the best lah. Okay, so like all other things in life, the good ones will not be cheap, especially in a city like Singapore. So that's why I'm putting out free information on my channel, so that you guys can actually, the Gen Pop, okay, can just, get free information without having to afford me. So my fifth point is this, okay, my last point. Very simply, don't stress about it, right? Don't stress about it. It sounds very counterintuitive, but me telling you not to stress about it because number one, it doesn't help, and number two, just start. You know why? Because it doesn't have to be perfect in the first place, and it never will be perfect. There's no perfect diet. There's no perfect way of losing weight, perfect way of doing anything for everybody. You have to find the one that works for you. That sounds very cliche, but that's the difficult part. Because even the best thing, best diet, best exercise for you may change over time. You may need someone to identify that, or you may need to be experienced enough to realize it yourself. Things like that. Okay, so long story short, your journey, your first ever fitness journey, is never going to be perfect. Your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth fitness journey, this is like the fifth time I'm trying to diet, it's not going to be perfect. Okay, it's never going to be perfect. But we are not shooting for perfection. We are looking for progress. So you know what they say, right? So perfection is the enemy of progress, right? So don't compare yourself with others who may or may not be better than you. If you start comparing, like, why this person, the genetics like so good? Like, once you go down the road, you will never be happy with yourself, and you will never be able to not discount yourself of the effort that you have put in. Then you make yourself feel shitty. Like, why? Okay, compare yourself with yourself yesterday, yourself last month, the version of yourself last year. Then you look back, okay, how have you improved? Okay, maybe my weights didn't go up, but hey, I look a little bit bigger. Or my weights didn't go up, but now I'm training without pain. Or I feel like I'm moving better. Or I've learned something about how my body moves. Little wins along the way. The longer you train, the more it matters. So if this is your first ever fitness journey, okay, fine. Right? You just try, you learn from your mistakes. Okay, if you're waiting, so basically the takeaway is this: if you're waiting for the perfect time to start your diet, there won't be a perfect time. This is it. Okay, so if you are trying to get into fitness, these are my 5 tips, and don't forget to subscribe and give me a like if you like this content. Thank you very much. Start today.